Guyana's Elections Commission says it will not be ready for elections until after Christmas. And in sports, former West Indies batting ace Brian Charles Lara says he is fine after being hospitalized with chest pains. I'm Ricardo Robertson. This is Caribbean in 10 for Tuesday, June 25th, 2019. I'll be back with the details after the break. The Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, says a general election is not possible until after Christmas this year. GECOM, through its attorney, Stanley Marcus, indicated to the Caribbean Court of Justice that a credible voters list would be ready for early elections by December 25. The revelation was made yesterday afternoon during submissions by the attorneys before the CCJ as the court got ready to hand down consequential orders. We get more in this report from News Source Guyana.
Opposition wants elections to be held within 3 months. However, GECOM's attorney Stanley Marcus explained that the earliest date for the list to be ready would be Christmas Day, and the elections could be held anytime after that.
He's asking for an outside date.
An outside date?
Yes.
From my consultations, putting everything into place and complying with all the provisions that are necessary, a list will be ready by the 25th of December. December 25.
So
elections to be held any time after that.
That's a rather unique date, December 25th.
December 25th.
Yes. So you're hoping to provide a Merry Christmas to the electorate of Guyana?
Mr. Marcus, this is disappointing because, as Mr. Mendes says, the Constitution suggests that these elections should have been held sometime in March.
The judges of the CCJ quizzed Mr. Marcus about whether that would not fall outside of the constitutional requirements for elections to be held within 3 months. The attorney reminded them that the Constitution also caters for elections to be held at a later date, after the 3 months once it has been approved by the National Assembly.
While despite the announcement by GECOM, Guyana's opposition leader Barak Jagdeo says he will not agree to extend the deadline by which general elections should be held. Jagdeo says he is committed to meeting with President David Granger to discuss the political situation of the country, but he maintains that he will be uncompromising about two issues. One, that elections must be held within 3 months, and that there must be a new chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission.
Already been living on borrowed time in government because of the delaying tactics. So effectively, they've had a 6 months grace so far, and we are not going to tolerate any continued violation of the Constitution. So we will insist on elections being held within 3 months, consistent with our Constitution. And when I meet with President Granger, that is a non-negotiable. What is also non-negotiable too is us going back to Parliament to extend the life of this government. That's non-negotiable.
The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, on Monday approved $48.7 million for Barbados after indicating that the island has made a strong start in implementing its ambitious and homegrown economic reform program. The executive board of the IMF said that it had completed its first review of the $290 million extended fund facility and that the completion enabled an immediate disbursement of $48.70 million. Barbados entered into a 4-year EFF arrangement with the IMF last October. And stay with us, your Midday Sport is next.
Welcome to this year's 50th Caribbean Broadcast Union Assembly on the island of San Andres. San Andres is a small archipelago located in between Jamaica and Panama in the western Caribbean Sea. A lush, exotic island rich in culture, history, gastronomy, and breathtaking scenic views. Known for its beaches and 7-colored crystalline waters, the island of San Andres will be proudly hosting this year's event. CBU members will enjoy top-of-the-line accommodations for an unforgettable experience in San Andres, connecting Caribbean nations through this year's 50th edition of the CBU Assembly.
Iconic former West Indies batsman Brian Charles Lara has reassured fans he is fine and recovering after being admitted to hospital in Mumbai with chest pains on Tuesday. Now, 50-year-old Lara is in India performing duties as a media analyst for the ongoing World Cup in England. He said several of the tests completed by doctors so far had revealed nothing major, and he anticipates leaving hospital by Wednesday. Lara, a former captain, holds the record for the most runs by a West Indies batsman in tests with 11,953 runs in from 131 matches. He quit international cricket in 2007 following the historic Cricket World Cup in the Caribbean. And staying with cricket, legendary former captain Clive Lloyd has questioned the balance of the West Indies squad and has also urged the struggling team to improve its situation awareness in order to turn around their form at the ongoing ICC Cricket World Cup. The West Indies have won just 1 game in 6 outings and lie 8th in the 10-nation standings on 3 points, with virtually no chance of finishing in the top 4 and reaching the semi-finals. Lloyd said the lack of an off-spinning all-rounder like Roston Chase and more batsmen with the abilities of Shea Hope had hampered the Windies' performance. West Indies have failed to spark during their World Cup campaign despite boasting the likes of batsman Chris Gayle, Darren Bravo and Hope, along with all-rounders Andre Russell and Jason Holder. They dominated Pakistan in their opener but have since faltered badly, losing 4 of their next 5 matches. Frustratingly, they found themselves in winning positions against Australia, Bangladesh and New Zealand, but squandered all 3 opportunities. Lloyd said these missed chances pointed to their lack of awareness of what was required to win matches. To football now, ex-TNT football players are calling for Dennis Lawrence and TTFA President David John Williams to resign. TV6's Sergio Defoe reports.
The 6-0 loss to the USA in the CONCACAF Gold Cup has prompted some stern responses from several members of the football fraternity. Former national women's team captain Maylie Atten-Johnson was critical of the performance. She stated, "They love to say I want to give back to my country. Their supporters love to say she is patriotic. I would say these people love to use patriotism conveniently. Let's see how patriotic the coach of the Trinidad and Tobago men's national football team is. I hope he does the honorable thing and resign." End quote. She added, "To the players, you must take blame as well. I do not care if you have beef with a coach, a player or a federation. Once you decide to don the red, black and white and walk out on that field, nothing else should matter but playing with maximum effort and pride." End quote.
That's Caribbean Intent. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.